So here we are. For what it's worth, I'm sorry that it all had to happen like this. That's a lie. It actually gives me a great deal of satisfaction seeing you here, dead, on the floor. Now, I know that's a very dark thing to say. It certainly changes the mood of the evening, doesn't it? But it took long enough, after all. Years, right? And now here we are. You're down for the count, and I'm left standing here. I bet you didn't see that coming. I did. From the second I put my mind to it, I knew that you were doomed. Of course you are. After all, how can you compete with someone of my brilliance? Bullets bouncing off your chest was only going to be enough for so long. And oh, how I wanted this. Excuse me for taking some modicum of sadistic joy, but with each time that you foiled my plans, each time you halted my ambitions or escaped my traps, my hatred for you grew and grew. I despised you with every fiber of my being. I think I have since we were children. Or maybe not. It's so hard to remember sometimes. Did we first clash as adults or as boys? I feel as though I've hated you for as long as I can recall, but I'm not really sure how long that is. Huh. It's puzzling, isn't it? The why or the how long doesn't even matter. Maybe you wronged me. Or maybe you just got in my way, but it's really that we were just diametrically opposed. After all, you were the hero in all the tales, and I was the villain. Isn't that how the world sees you and me? You protected the people while I was your rival. They chose their allegiance to you, and thus I, as your antagonist, was made the heel. Certainly how they'll see me now, isn't it? I took their hero away from them, and so they'll hate me. At least for the present. But history is written by the winners. And you lost. The fools. They idolized you, and now you're gone. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. You were certainly a specimen. I don't blame them for adoring you. But they never noticed what it was doing to them. But you were the one who should have known better. Didn't you ever notice how people wore their seatbelts less when you were around? Or what about those island villagers feeling safe living next to an active volcano? An active volcano! You were a hero who promoted unsafe behavior on their part on the belief that you would be there to save them. You're like that little boy who helps the butterfly out of his cocoon, only to watch it, unprepared for the burdens of life, fall to its death. You see? You were the little boy's idea of a hero. But you were big and strong and impervious to pain, and hell, you could fly. See, that was the whole problem, wasn't it? You were a guardian and a protector and the ultimate big brother or parent, but you didn't inspire them. And I think we'll see that your presence had no lasting impact. The world is not better in your wake than it was before your little rocket ship arrived. Sure, some lives were spared. But how many may suffer now because the lessons of the past were not learned? Huh? The definition of a hero. One who takes upon a quest at his or her own risk with no thought of gain aside from the betterment of one's society. How brave were you to deflect a bullet that could never harm you? You were never risking your life or going out of your way to assist anyone. With your power of action, you could have reshaped the world for the better, but you didn't. You could have led mankind onto a new age, but you didn't. You saved kittens from trees. And your might came naturally. Whatever tragic background you might have had was thrust upon you with no real attachment. And then your life was a silver platter. Even in your secret life, you chose not to fulfill your promise. You could have inspired the people as one of them, guided them to test themselves so that they could equal you, but instead, you reveled in mediocrity. Your mild-mannered facade let people around you relax. And while you secretly used your augmented abilities to excel enough to be successful, but not so much as to be impressive. Didn't you ever understand how you were failing the world? You were a child's superhero. A child doesn't understand the world. It doesn't know about sacrifice and moral dilemmas. A child can't do the hard thing and hurt someone good in order to better the world. You were a good person. But just by existing, you were ruining the world. And I saw that. I am sorry. It had to happen this way. You tried to be a good man. You just never understood that in this story, you were never the hero. I was. My purpose was to be your check and balance, to prevent you from going too far and stifling the people of this world. And someday, the rest of the world will understand that. You were a child's hero, but I am an adult, able to make the hard decisions to ultimately make the world a better place. Don't you see, then, that if in this story I am the hero, that you are the villain?